You think Bharani is just intensity. It is not. It is pressure with purpose, desire with consequence, creativity born from inner heat. If you carry strong Bharani energy, you are not here for a flat life. You are here to carry weight, turn it into power, and leave a mark. I want you to understand this clearly. Bharani often makes you feel deeper than your age, more emotionally loaded than your peers. Even when you look calm, something is moving inside. You feel more. You carry more. You want more from life. That is why your path is rarely ordinary. This is why Bharani produces a person who is not merely artistic but transformative. You are expressive because you are processing. You are driven because something inside refuses to stay small. You want to create, perform, heal, guide, protect, transform, or move people deeply. You do not just want attention. You want impact. You want your life to mean something. That is where Bharani starts connecting with Enneagram 4, 2, and 3. If Bharani turns inward into identity, emotion, and depth, it resembles the 4. You become the one who feels different, craves authenticity, and wants pain and passion to become art, message, style, or purpose. You do not do fake living. You need emotional truth. If Bharani turns toward care, support, and carrying others through difficulty, it resembles the 2. You become the one who cannot ignore human struggle. You help hold space and become the emotional backbone of relationships or professional spaces. But then the danger appears. You carry too much. You become needed by everyone and understood by no one. Burnout enters quietly. If Bharani turns into output, performance, and visible results, it resembles the 3. You become ambitious, productive, determined to prove yourself, and unwilling to waste your life. You want to build something undeniable. But then the shadow appears. You tie your worth to results. You keep achieving, yet do not know how to rest. Now let me connect this to MBTI in a practical way. Bharani often resembles INFP when your intensity becomes personal, values-driven, and creative. You care about authenticity. You cannot thrive in a life that feels dead inside. You may look quiet, but your inner world is rich, emotional, imaginative, and morally serious. You want to create from what you have lived through. Bharani resembles INFJ when your depth becomes insight, emotional intelligence, and transformation. You start reading people powerfully. You see under the surface. You understand pain, motives, defenses, and hidden longing. You may feel called to guide, counsel, mentor, or teach, but you can also absorb too much and silently carry your own exhaustion. Bharani resembles ENFJ when your emotional force becomes outward leadership. You influence, motivate, and gather people around a cause. You know how to turn feeling into direction. You may thrive in teaching, coaching, counseling, leadership, media, or community building. But shadow follows strength. You may overextend, overgive, and build your identity around being needed. So what is the real pattern? Bharani is not one fixed type. It is an engine. It takes intensity and pushes it toward identity, service, or achievement. Depending on maturity, the same engine can create an artist, a healer, a guide, a performer, a reformer, or a burdened person who still cannot channel their fire. In the first house, you wear it. People feel your presence. There is seriousness, magnetism, and inner force. You may be strong-willed, memorable, hard to influence, and quietly intense. The lesson is identity. Carry yourself without carrying the whole world. In the second house, Bharani moves into speech, values, family patterns, money, and self-worth. Your words can hit hard. Your voice may carry emotional power. You may earn through creative healing, beauty, or meaningful work. But self-worth can become a struggle if family burdens run deep. In the third house, Bharani shows up through courage, communication, writing, speaking, media, and effort. This can create a bold communicator who uses words to move people. It is powerful for content, teaching, counseling, or persuasive speech. But you can become mentally overdriven. In the fourth house, Bharani becomes deeply emotional. Home, roots, mother, belonging, and private life become areas of pressure and transformation. This person often carries emotional weight privately and understands healing from the inside out. In the fifth house, Bharani becomes creativity, romance, self-expression, and children. This is strong for art, content creation, performance, and emotionally charged love stories. But romance can become intense and identity shaping. In the sixth house, Bharani goes into service, health, discipline, conflict, and healing. These people can do powerful work in counseling, healthcare, crisis support, and structured transformation. But service without boundaries becomes self-destruction. In the seventh house, Bharani enters partnership. Relationships become intense, karmic, transformative, and impossible to keep superficial. You attract people who force growth and emotional maturity. Unconscious, this becomes drama. Conscious, it becomes profound partnership. In the eighth house, Bharani becomes deeper. Intimacy, trauma, secrets, psychological rebirth, and emotional survival become central. This can create remarkable healers, researchers, therapists, and people who know how to go through darkness and come back stronger. In the ninth house, Bharani goes into belief, higher knowledge, meaning, and moral conviction. You do not want empty philosophy. You want truth that transforms life. In the 10th house, Bharani shows up publicly. Career becomes the stage where intensity seeks expression. This is powerful for impact through arts, media, healing, guidance, counseling, leadership, or social change. Recognition matters here, but it must be earned through substance. In the 11th house, Bharani enters networks, gains, audience, and communities. You may influence groups and attract gains through meaningful collective work. But friendships and social circles can also become charged and karmic. In the 12th house, Bharani turns inward, spiritual, private, and subconscious. This can create a deeply artistic, healing, reflective, or mystical person. But without grounding, this can become exhaustion or escape. Now let us bring in personal planets. If Mercury is in Bharani, your mind is not superficial. You think intensely. You speak with emotional force. You may be observant, creatively expressive, and drawn to meaningful communication. But when immature, this can become overthinking, sharp speech, and mental strain. If the moon is in Bharani, the emotional body becomes deep, reactive, and enduring. You feel life intensely. You remember what others dismiss. You may nurture fiercely, attach deeply, and struggle to let go of emotional burdens. This can produce emotional intelligence, but only if you learn regulation. If Mars is in Bharani, your drive becomes relentless. You do not give up easily. You can handle pressure, defend what matters, and act with force when something feels meaningful. This is powerful for athletes, activists, leaders, entrepreneurs, and fighters. But anger must be mastered. If Venus is in Bharani, love, art, pleasure, and beauty become emotionally charged and transformative. You may be highly creative, magnetic, sensual, and capable of deep bonding. But love is rarely casual for you. Intense relationships become your classroom. If the ascendant falls in Bharani, this energy becomes your visible lifestyle. People read you as strong, proud, intense, and difficult to ignore. Life forces you to become more real, resilient, and self-defined with time. If Rahu is in Bharani, desire amplifies. Ambition, attraction, impact, recognition, and craving become powerful life themes. This can produce magnetism and achievement, but also excess. More intensity is not always more fulfillment. If Ketu is in Bharani, there is old karmic familiarity with emotional intensity, desire, pressure, or relational transformation. This can give wisdom and inner depth, but it can also create distance, numbness, or confusion around what you truly want. So what should you do if you are young and you recognize Bharani in yourself? Stop romanticizing intensity without structure. Your depth is a gift, but unmanaged depth becomes damage. You need output, you need emotional literacy, you need boundaries, you need work that turns pressure into value. The moment you stop directing your fire, it starts turning against you. And if you are a youth counselor, coach, or mentor listening to this, pay attention. Bharani types do not need shallow motivation. They need meaningful direction. They need help understanding that their emotional intensity is not a flaw. But they also need the hard truth that depth alone is not destiny. Channel matters, discipline matters, relationship hygiene matters, nervous system regulation matters. Without that, gifted young people become overwhelmed adults. This is the deepest lesson of Bharani. You are not here to avoid pressure. You are here to hold it, shape it, and create through it. Your life becomes powerful the moment you stop asking, why am I so intense? And start asking, what is this intensity trying to build through me? If you want to understand how this energy is working in your chart, your mind, your love patterns, your career path, and your deeper personality design, get in touch with me for a personal reading. I will help you see where your Bharani energy is becoming strength, where it is becoming struggle, and how to align it so your life stops feeling heavy and starts becoming intentional. Your awareness changes the outcome. You are not too much. You are carrying untapped power. Read your pattern right, and the same fire that burns you can build you today.